Hey guys, happy Tuesday, everybody. So you have to bear with me because this is the first time going live on YouTube. Yay! This is pretty cool. I like it. So hopefully we get a few folks that pop on. But you'll have to forgive me because if you ask questions and stuff like that on Facebook, or on here, I just gotta give me some time to figure it out. So since it's the first time me going live on YouTube, and I usually do it on Facebook, I just want to mention that I do have dogs. I'm a dog mom, and so as much as I try to keep them quiet while I'm doing these videos, there's just no guarantees because they live here. They kind of run this house. So if they start to do that, then please forgive me and just be patient with that. And then also, let's see here. So today I want to talk about one topic that, I feel is pretty important and had came to mind last week, and I've been waiting to share it with you guys. But these last few days, actually this last week has been really, really busy for me. So nevertheless, if you guys jump on, by the way, too, please let me know in the comment section. Say hello so I can say back hi back to you guys. But for those of you who do not know, my name is Chantel. I have a YouTube channel here, but I also have a group on Facebook that I manage where, as a health coach, where I help women in particular lose weight, restore their health, and gain the confidence that they always wanted. And with that, my journey has kind of led me a lot of different ways. One of the ways in which I decided to specialize in is behavior change, because I realized that although a lot of people really want recipes, or they think that they want recipes and they think that they want tips and they think about weight loss, most of the time people are dealing with different issues that are more on a psychological and a behavioral level than anything else. And I never really thought about that in my journey. And so one of the things that I really want to do here on this channel and in my group is to shed some awareness of that, because just to let you know that there are different psychological, biological, environmental, social issues that play a part in our lives every single day. And when it comes to weight loss, it makes it almost impossible for us to have a perfect diet. So, for instance, in my private Facebook group, I asked a lot of people last week what topics they wanted to hear about. And a lot of them said, tips for weight loss, diet for weight loss, recipes for weight loss, and things like that. And while, yes, most people, in my group, or people that I help, want to lose weight and get healthy, recipes are everywhere, right? You don't need me to give you recipes to show you how to lose weight. A lot of times there are things that are underlying, like our relationships with food, our relationships with others, our relationships with ourselves, that are at play here, that are causing people to not lose the weight that they want to lose. And so one of the things here is lapsing versus relapsing. And so the first thing is, a lot of times, and back in the day, a lapse or a relapse was really just attributed to alcoholism and drug use. But nowadays, most people, when they think of a lapse, or they're talking about, in the nutrition field, they're talking about a diet. So this happens a lot of the time. And so I wanted to define that here. So a lapse, and I'm just going to read it so I don't mess it up, of course. But lapsing is, and this is important, a temporary misstep or departure from the plan. A temporary misstep or departure from the plan. So that means that lapses are temporary. And here's the thing, a lot of us know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, we're doing really good on our diet. We have lost a couple of pounds. We're feeling good. We're feeling confident. We're starting to see a little bit of change in our body. And then one day we get a craving, or we decide to splurge a little bit, go out to eat with our friends, our family, our loved ones, or whatever, and we end up indulging. And indulgence is not a bad thing. So I want us to kind of switch our mindset around that. So indulgence is not bad, but what can be detrimental to our weight loss experience is overindulging. And a lot of times when we make a lapse and we're doing a temporary departure from the plan, a temporary misstep or departure from the plan, we are just lapsing temporarily and indulging temporarily. But in our minds, somehow we triggered that to mean a relapse. And that is absolutely where I just don't even want you or anybody else to go. A relapse is different from a lapse, meaning that a relapse is a full-blown change back into problematic ways. So that means that you just given up completely on your goal. And a lot of times, unfortunately, people take a temporary misstep or a departure from the plan and go straight back into that relapse because they feel like there's no separation between the two. And I'm here to tell you guys that there is a difference. If you have a temporary misstep, okay, that is temporary. You don't have to make this a permanent change. You don't have to make this a full-blown change back into your old ways. I'm giving you some information now to help you realize when you are having that temporary misstep or deviation from the plan, so that way you can think about it in the moment and say, okay, this is not a relapse. This is me taking a detour from my plan. But as the way the world works, it's going to bring us back. Okay. If you think about a GPS and what happens, this is just what happened to me earlier today. I was taking a drive and I took a wrong turn. My GPS was like, wait a second. And then, so I ended up taking a detour, but eventually it'll end up rerouting and bringing us back. Okay. So even though temporary detours or lapses or whatever you want to call them can take us a little bit further out of the direction that we want to go, they still will ultimately bring us back to where we need to be if you just stay the course. Okay. You have to trust in the process and stay the course. Now, when this happens, you just have to not or recognize that it is actually happening and not combine or blur the lines there, because there is a difference. There's a difference between a temporary setback and a permanent setback. Okay. So I wanted to bring this to your attention because a lot of times when we do have these temporary lapses, they make us feel so crappy about ourselves. Like, oh my God, I ate too much. I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to gain the weight right back. All of these negative things that we tell ourselves. And part of what I do as a health coach is help people to realize that they are making these lapses and that and how to stay the course, and also how not to beat themselves up when they do make a temporary setback. Because once you start going into your journey, you'll have a strategy. Okay. So even when you do take a temporary deviation from the plan, you'll know exactly how far you want to go. It's more control because you learn not to allow it to bother you as much as it had been before, because you know that it's temporary and it's not a relapse. So that's one thing that I really want to make sure that people are aware of here today. And as I was feeling like I really want to talk about this, because it's so important that we know that there is a way to come back from those temporary moments. And most of the time, your body will thank you for it, because whenever we're doing something super extreme, or we're on a diet, we've been doing really well, we're been eating very healthily, and then we give our body a taste of something else, our bodies are miraculous and they will adjust to what you've just done. Now, when you start to relapse, that's when it starts to become more problematic, and your body will start to hold on to those things that you don't want to hold on to anymore. it's a definite balance. That is where balance comes from, is knowing and having a designed type of deviation from there. You want to take the scenic route, right? You're planning your deviation like as if next Saturday I have a birthday party to attend to. I might have X, Y, and Z while I go out, or I might have a couple of drinks. That's called balance. And knowing that it's not going to ruin your whole day, and trusting yourself enough to know that you're not going to relapse, okay? So here's a couple of things that I want to give you. And of course, in my program, I talk about this more in detail, but I wanted to leave you guys with a couple of things that can help you if you see yourself getting into these lapses. And if you have, I want to know, let me know in the comment section below if you feel comfortable talking about it. What types of things do you feel like happen for you? Are you experiencing lapses and relapses? And by that, another way to say it is just like yo-yoing. You know, if you're doing really well one day and then all of a sudden you have something bad, or you feel like it's bad, and then you feel bad about yourself and you end up just falling completely off the wagon. That is a relapse. And that happens more often than not. And I assure you that, sorry guys, my nose is itching really badly. That happens more often than not. And I can tell you that it's happened to me several times. And it's not until I was able to disassociate my lapses from my relapses where I was able to like get past that, because it allowed me not to feel guilty when I did, screw up a little bit, and forgive myself. So if you want more information about that, let me know. But I want to hear from you if you guys are struggling with that and where exactly you find that you are struggling. So the first thing to kind of help you not relapse when you do have a lapse, just accepting the fact that it happened. There's no criminal act that just happened because you ate a piece of whatever, that's not a problematic behavior. You shouldn't feel bad about yourself. It's something that you decided to do. You made a choice because you are given the right to choose what you want to do and what you don't want to do. You chose to do something, and it might take you on a little bit of a longer tour. But that's okay. So accept the fact that it happened and move on. The second piece, and that's kind of where it goes into this, is just hitting the replay button. Okay. Replay what happened. Kind of think about some things that you feel like happened that triggered that response and caused you to relapse, and try to think about if you can find ways to go about it better next time. And then the last thing is just moving on. And I know these seem like very simple steps, but trust me when I say that these are very science-based solutions that can help you take a situation like a lapse, a temporary setback, and move on from that, instead of taking this temporary setback and make it into a permanent setback. So the last thing is just moving on. Don't punish yourself for having made a choice to indulge into something that you wanted to. Accept that situation, think about it, and see if there's any way you could replay it, any way you can do it better in the future, and then move on. Do not punish yourself with self-sabotage. Do not make yourself feel worse about it by talking negatively to yourself. And then also, very, very important, do not punish yourself by completely extreme dieting or excessive exercise, because that will not work. That will result in a burnout and ultimately discouragement, because nobody can keep up extreme levels of anything. So, and I know that I've heard a lot of people before, when they've had like a bad weekend or a bad day or whatever, to say, it's okay, I'll just work it off later. Or I'm about to go on a diet all week. I'm about to do a cleanse. To me, that's punishment on your body, to try to make yourself go through these extreme measures because you made one decision to do something one time. once you start to switch the way you think about it, you'll understand that, you know, this one time really wasn't that big of a deal. As long as you just get back on it tomorrow, restart the day, and keep going towards your goal. You don't have to make it permanent. This is temporary, like I said, and you will move through that. And so there are tons of more things, tons of more exercises and tips that I could give here. And I'm not going to give them right here on this video, but hopefully those were very helpful. If you are experiencing lapses, if they're turning into relapses, then know that these are absolutely normal things for people to go through when they're going through their journey, especially if they don't have a structured system or accountability. Now, talking about a structured system, I want to make sure that people understand that when you embark on your fitness journey, whatever it is, and you just decide, I'm going to lose weight, you have to have some level of a plan to get there. And think about when you go to work. You know, if you're going to work and your boss tasks you, or maybe you're the one in charge and you're tasking other people to come up with a solution or finish this project, right? You have to have a plan. You have to have a way to get from point A to point B. And if you don't, then what's going to happen? Everything's going to go to shit, right? You're not ever going to accomplish your goal. Your deadlines aren't going to be met. You're going to be over budget. Your staff is going to be crazy, right? I hope you can get the analogy here. When you are embarking on anything in a goal that you want to accomplish, you have to have a plan behind it. And a lot of people that I talk to, they want to lose weight, however, have zero idea of how they're going to get from point A to point B, or have an idea or have ideas that they think are going to help, but in actuality might not. And so that is definitely something that I love to help people with. I definitely, one thing that I do in my program is making sure that my clients have a structured plan. How do you get from point A to point B? How do you lose the weight that you want to lose once and for all? How can you have a good relationship with food? How can you have a sustainable weight loss plan that can last you a lifetime without having to constantly buy programs, get on these workout regimens, and falling victim to these weight loss fads that are out there. That is one thing that's what I love to teach people. And creating a plan is one thing that I love to do with people to help. So that way, when they leave my program, understand how healthy living is, and not having to stress out, not having to yo-yo diet, not having to feel bad, not having to go from this lapse to relapse vicious cycle. So if that's something that you are interested in, if you are ready right now to get from point A to point B, and you're willing to work on that through that with me, then I want you to click on the link below. It's a link to schedule your free consultation with me. And on those conversations, we'll just get clear about what your goals are, see if we could devise a plan for you to get to your goal, and point you in the right direction, and see if my program is something that you're interested in. So if you are, click on that link. I'd love to talk to you, help you along through this journey. This is something that really lights me up and that I'm super passionate about, and I'd be happy to talk to you about your journey. So if you pop onto this video, make sure you say hello. If you're watching this from Facebook, I haven't quite mastered how to read those comments or anything like that, but I want you guys to comment. Let me know if this is something that resonates with you, by liking the video, by sharing the video, or by commenting below if this is something that you struggle with as well. I think that's all that I have for today, you guys. I really appreciate you hopping on if you did, and if you catch the replay as well. Other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will chat with y'all later.